Well, good afternoon, all my oily friends and family out there, and all of the newcomers who might be joining in on these videos to learn or be intrigued by what essential oils are. I just wanted to share a little bit about our Tuesday BOGO at doTERRA, and it's exciting stuff today because we did think that spearmint was going to be rolled out today for our buy one, get one, but they actually ended up putting the Frankincense Touch out today for Tuesday. So the Frankincense Touch wholesale, for all of you who are a member with doTERRA already, a wholesale customer, you can get that for $45. And when you purchase that Frankincense Touch for that cost, then you're going to get the wonderful oil that I've heard so much about and can't wait to try. It is the neroli oil. And I'm going to get into a little bit about the history and the uses and benefits of both of those oils here in just a minute. But that is what the BOGO is for today. So you buy the Frankincense Touch, which is a roller. It's 10 mLs. And then you're going to get the Neroli Touch. So they're already basically diluted in fractionated coconut oil, so you don't have to worry about diluting them, especially when you're applying them to the skin, because they're already diluted. So it, lessens possibilities for, irritation or reactions that some oils, can cause when they're just directly put on the skin. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about it. I attended a live webinar today with Justin, who is, I think he said he was the first customer of doTERRA, him and his wife. And then Marty is one of our big time leaders in our company and on our team. And she did a live video today that was very interesting, and she did a wonderful job. So I'm inspired by her as well to do these live videos. And of course, shout out to Tasha, who is the wonderful, wonderful person that has gotten me into her team and just gotten me inspired to learn about these oils and get more educated, because I have been using oils for a couple of years now already, and thanks to Kim for that. But I just really never got into it, the science of it, and really getting to know how these work in our bodies and the educational aspects of what's going on. So I've really been doing that a lot this last couple of weeks, especially. And today, like I said, I watched a live and I watched a webinar. So I'm going to share with you bits and pieces from both of those, so you kind of know what benefits you can get from both of these oils if you decide that you want the BOGO today. The BOGO will be until midnight tonight, Mountain Standard Time, which again, that's 2 o'clock in the morning, but you want to do it 1 minute beforehand, because then it'll roll over into the next day. So let's talk a little bit about the fun facts of frankincense. I have heard in the past that it is the king of the oils, and I've heard that again today. So the history behind that was that it was called the Eber's Papyrus, and it was an Egyptian scroll that came out, and there was just all of these remedies, like hundreds of remedies for how oils were used, how to use the oils to do the things that we're trying to do on a natural spectrum today, and getting back to that natural health. So the point of the history of all of this is that, the oils are not new. They've been around, dating back to Egyptian times and, biblically. I think the oils were referenced, Justin had said 300 times in the Old Testament, and oils are referenced 150 times in the New Testament. So, they've been used. This is not a new concept, but it is a new concept in our generation. And so a lot of people still, have questions, and, they're just not real sure, what this is all about. So hopefully I can at least give you a little bit of information about that, and maybe just encourage you to just have an open mind about oils and natural health, because it will change your life. And it is, just a really cool thing to see how it all works. So anyway, another really cool fact about the frankincense that I thought was really cool was the Egyptians used to wear these wax crowns, and they would put frankincense and myrrh in the top of the crown. And then when they were out and about and it was hot out and the sun was beating on their head, it would melt those waxes down on to their body and probably down the back of their neck. And that's a lot of the places where we recommend, putting these oils if you're going to do them topically. And I'm going to get into that in a few minutes. But that was a really cool fact. It said the frankincense tree, it comes from the tree. It's lives in the desert, thrives in the desert. It lives in the desert. It grows in the desert and thrives in the desert in limestone soil and really, really, really high heat. And so that's, where it does the best. So another thing about a fact that Justin shared with us is that the deep blue polyphenol that we do have at doTERRA has frankincense resin in it. And the really cool fact that I thought was really cool about that was he said it is effective against COX-2 inhibitors, which helps with inflammation in our body. So that is one of the effects that frankincense can have in your body. And then the resin is also in some of our other products that we could talk about later if you're interested. Another really cool scientific fact, I always love this cross the blood-brain barrier. That is a big thing for me when I'm researching different toxins that we use, such as aspartame, which crosses the blood-brain barrier. But this is a good cross. And they say that, it does cross that. So it helps, with the capacity of our functions in our brain too, which is a very positive effect. When you're using therapeutic oils and not toxins like aspartame. So modern day research, if there's some of my scientific friends that are watching this, I have anesthesiologist friends, nurse anesthetists, pathologists, the doctors that I know, and then, of course, all the nurses and some of you nursing students out there. Amanda, so excited for you. And also Donna, that's so exciting that you guys are going to nursing school. So anyway, these are some areas where you can go and you can maybe learn about it. And so PubMed is a very reputable place that I've done other types of research for nursing, but it was mentioned today by Justin that they do have some research on these oils. And so for those of you who want that scientific data, that scientific research and background, he said that was a really good place to go. So that's for my scientific friends, and for anyone really, if you just want to see that, applied in a scientific manner. So application that was talked about was you could put it on your shoulders, on the back of your neck, the bottoms of your feet. They also talked about, warm oils are usually better, and they do better on your feet, like On Guard that we have, because they are, warmer oils, and so they can be a little bit more sensitive in other areas. So the bottom of the feet is a good place for it also. But because this is in a roller, you can apply this in other areas and it shouldn't cause a problem. So the aroma aspect of the frankincense, it's an influencer of mood. And you can mix it with peppermint. And I tried that during the webinar and it was amazing. It just lifted me right up and I was just, I don't know. It was just really cool how, I was kind of lagging from the morning and I didn't get a lot of sleep again last night. Not because I wasn't sleeping, but because I've been doing a lot with doTERRA actually. And so I've just been really getting into it and just staying up till the middle of the night, watching videos, watching YouTube, collecting data so I can share it with you. And so, it just really kind of picked me up. And so it also works for cellular health because it's diluted. It stays and it absorbs into the area that you're using it on. And there was a couple of testimonies on that webinar. Somebody had said that they had been kind of feeling not so well for the last couple of weeks. They were having a little bit of upset stomach and, their little head was a little achy and they just weren't feeling good overall. And when she did the frankincense and peppermint during the webinar, which whoever was online could do that if they had the products and do it together. And she said that within about 5 to 7 minutes, all of her symptoms were gone. And she had been dealing with it on and off for about 2 weeks. So that was pretty cool to hear that testimony. And then someone had talked about there was a growth on their dog, on their nose, and they were going to have surgery. But she made a roller of frankincense, myrrh, copaiba, which I love that oil. It's another wonderful, they're all wonderful, but copaiba is really good for me with everything I've got going on. And then lavender. So she said that she applied that, and at the end of the day, that growth was gone, and she was able to cancel that surgery. So, you know, just really good stuff during the webinar on that. And then when I tuned into Marty's live, she just had some amazing points about it. The frankincense, again, she talked about it being the Swiss Army knife of, you know, oils. She said it's with this combination of the neroli and the frankincense, it's a male-female energy, because the male is, you know, like the male, frankincense is like the male energy, the king, and then the neroli is more of a female energy. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about some history with that here in just a second. So with same thing, talking about roller, you know, applying it topically, you know, diluting it. It's already diluted, so you don't have to worry about that. As far as the frankincense resin, it comes from 4 strains from the tree, and it's pulled together to work on different things. The core result is it brings out the body's healthy aspects. So she was saying that if you're having a tummy ache and you rub it on your tummy, you know, it should help that symptom. If you are, you know, having some difficulties with maybe some shortness of breath, or, you know, just having a little struggle a little bit with breathing, you could put it on your chest wall, and it should help improve that. I thought that was pretty cool. As far as muscles, you go for a run and you're having some muscle pains, you can put it on there, and it should, you know, help with your muscles. So it's kind of like a point of contact thing, which I thought was pretty cool. She also said skin, it's got an ability to create healthy tissue. So if you have a scar that you're wanting to get rid of, or if you have blemishes or a disruption in your skin, you could apply that frankincense roller onto it, and it should improve that condition with your skin, because it's, you know, the cellular rejuvenation, and it assists with that. Supporting a healthy immune system is also another big thing about frankincense. And as we all know, we all need that right now. Emotionally, it says it's spiritual. A lot of people use it for meditation, and they use it during prayer. It's a transformative oil that you can drop on your hands, rub it in your hands, and then kind of just do a cupping technique is what we call it, where you'll just, you know, take in the scent, let it get into, you know, your respiratory system. And you could also put it on the back of your neck, and that can also get into the base of your neck. I'm not going to get into medical terms, but then, you know, it can absorb that way. And because it crosses the blood-brain barrier, you're going to get those effects. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell for the frankincense. And this is running about 13 minutes, so I want to get moving on this, but I do not want to minimize neroli, because it sounds amazing and I cannot wait to try it. So let me see where my notes are on that. I know that the neroli flower is where the oil comes from. So there's 1,000 pounds of petals for 1 pound of oil, which is really amazing. I mean, when you think about that. So it's sourced from Egypt. The Princess of Italy, it came from, or it was named for her. There's a story about the Princess of Italy, because she just loved the aroma of the smell. And so that's where neroli came about. So it is topically used, and you can also inhale it. This was actually from the webinar. Justin said that it helps with skin acne, which I cannot wait to get this roller, because a particular young lady who is going on 13, is having some issues with that a little bit. So can't wait to see how that works. And of course, me being, an older mom, have some stretch marks. And so when that was mentioned, that it can help reduce those, I was excited about that for me. So also broken capillaries, I thought was very interesting because I have a lot of spider veins and I have varicose veins. And so when I heard that, I was excited to see how that might, work out in the future for me. It was also mentioned that it helps relax stress-related down feelings. It brings out positive moods, so it reverses those down feelings that we might be having or stress-related feelings. It's extra powerful for quick action when you apply it topically. And that's what, this is going to be used for. Your roller is going to be a topical use. Also, the places where you can apply it: shoulders, chest, wrists, back of neck. They said you can actually even put it under your nose. There's some oils that I do that with if I really want to just, get that into my sensory. I'll just put a drop underneath my nose so I can continue to use it. Especially in nursing, sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of fresh peppermint, especially you out there wearing those masks, having some peppermint. Even a little bit of On Guard maybe would be a really good idea for you. So definitely something to think about. My nursing friends out there and my other friends who are out there in the community on the front lines. It says that it helps wake you, it helps mood. And another thing that somebody had mentioned was that she had 3 daughters. And so it was important for women in the place of deodorant, and it helped cramps. And she used it with Adaptive, and it was a huge benefit for her young girls. So I'll just kind of put that out there. Another thing, once I started watching the live from Marty, she had some really cool things to say about the Neroli. Was it awakens our inner beauty. It helps us decipher truth versus non-truth, and it helps us to kind of think deeper. That's how it acts on the systems in our brain. So, with everything going on, I know that I'm trying to decipher a lot of truth from untruth. I've gone down some pretty big rabbit holes, and I'm stopping doing that because it's definitely not healthy. But, I'm interested to, I thought that was an interesting point. So anyway, she said it comes from the blossoms of the bitter orange tree. And so it's got a kind of a sweet, bitter scent to it. It's a feminine oil, and they say it's got an sensual aroma. There's some history back in, it was used for weddings. And actually, I'm going to let my buddy Tasha talk about that because she shared a story about Neroli with me this morning, and she just does it so much more beautifully. So I'm going to be sharing her live today once she gets that done, because she'll, do that so much more beautifully than I will. The skin, again, was mentioned. So the acne, the renewing elasticity for the young and, the mature people out there. It's reassuring for renewing to the body. The digestive health, it helps calm the tummy. So that's still, we heard about that a little bit earlier. Agitated nerves, feelings of sleeplessness or anxiousness. She said that the Neroli was very good for that. You can use it on your temples, your forehead. Again, it was mentioned the nose. So that's obviously a good one for that. It was mentioned in both educational things today. And then on the chin, she said she kind of just rubs it on her chest for actually like a cologne scent, instead of using, I mentioned yesterday, those toxic perfumes. Also too, she said it's for hope and joy. It is an oil of shared purpose and partnership. And the flower that it comes from symbolizes purity. So it brings out the best emotion in us if we are overwhelmed, and it can bring us to a calm place. So I'm going to end with that. This has kind of gone on a little bit long. I guess maybe, hopefully, it's not too long for those of you who are, just kind of sitting around the house and and bored and looking for something to do, but I hope that you've gotten some good information from this. If you're interested and you're not with doTERRA already, you can always give me a shout on one of the platforms that you see this on, and I can help get you some education on how you can do that. Or you can just go directly to my website. It's my.doterra, DoTERRA.com/Lisa, YOCKE1. And you can just go in and buy it retail. Again, it's going to be for retail, it would be $60.67. And then you would get the NEROLI free, which is a $60 bottle. So it's the same price. And then you could just buy it outright if you didn't want to become a member. But a wholesale membership is $35. And then you get 25% off any products that you buy for the rest of for the year. So it's a great deal. If you're interested, if you want to get started, if you want to replenish your supply, it's a great day for a BOGO. So with that, I'm going to leave you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thanks for listening. Bye.